excited to be hosting this symposium, and really the background of the work, and share what we've been working on, or what we've been doing with the fellows, but also with companies. As you will see or even in some of the material that are on your table, we've been working with close to 20 companies, and about, I think, over 100 fellows or interns. We started with 1,000 applicants. Over 1,000 applicants that came down to 100, and finally we have about 20 that completed the fellowship and have been working with the companies. And we're gonna do some demonstrations instead of a typical presentation. I'm gonna invite Frank Shema to take us through some of the work that we did with the companies. So that I don't bore you with the similar information that is already with you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Shema Frank. I'm from ICT Chamber. I'm a business intelligence analyst. I'm going to take you through data maturity assessment report. This is the report. It's a dynamic dashboard whereby you can interact with it and be able to see the performance of the company. So with the program, we started with identifying some of the gaps. We have developed a tool to assess the companies, a data maturity assessment tool, just to know where the companies stand, what are the gaps, because we were targeting the data producing companies, as Alex said. So we wanted to know exactly the gaps so that we can know exactly what type of activities can we conduct with the companies. Here we are looking at the data strategy, data governance, like looking at the plan that defines how the companies collect the data, the storage of the data, security, the technologies or the tools that they use to deal with the data. Another thing is technology. Technology, we were looking at what are the tools that the companies use. So we have here, as you can see, we have sub-capabilities. These sub-capabilities are under this process, technology, and people, the main capabilities that we have considered. On this chart as well, we have the main sub-capabilities that we have considered to assess the company. So we have a percentage score. As you can see, we were able to score the company and be able to see by using our scoring model where the company stand in general by comparing all these sub-capabilities. And then we also have some levels here, data maturity levels. If the company is scoring between 0 to 20, what does this mean? The sectors as well, all the sectors, we have agriculture, e-commerce, edutech, education, we have all these sectors. So if we click, for example, here is edu, we want to see the details on this specific capability people, how is this company performing? The same applies to other sub-capabilities process. We have like 5 sub-capabilities, data strategy, data sources and collection. So you can interact with the dashboard and see what we recommend on that specific capability by providing where you stand and also what we recommend you to do on this specific sub-capability. So you can interact with it and see other sub-capabilities, technology, where you stand, on data security, the performance and the recommendations. So we decided to also use data warehouse for the companies to centralize all the data from different sources. They have systems, they conduct surveys, they have other data sources. So we decided to say, okay, we are going to support companies to centralize their data into one centralized storage and then build real-time dashboards. Another thing that we did, some of the companies, even big companies, to work with them was requiring us to sometimes build data collection tools. You find they collect data, but they don't have the tools to collect their data. Some of the companies, we supported them to build the tools to help them in their business operations, to collect data, what kind of data they need to collect, and of course teaching them the role that data should be playing in making better and accurate decisions. So we, like 5-6 companies, we helped them to build the tools to help them to collect data. So maybe by concluding, this program helped us to design different tools that can help help ICT sector to assess different companies and in different sectors. As you can see here, we are in data sector, we have edutech, we have to assess edutech companies to identify some of the gaps and where should an edutech company stand, a certain standard that they should be standing on.
Thank you, our panelists. As Frank shared earlier, really the purpose of the project one is increase or improve the company's capabilities of businesses in utilizing data for decision making. And so today's conversation is really aiming at one, sharing experiences, their own experiences. And without further ado, I'll kick it off with Leon from DDIN, just to tell us about himself and everyone else on the panel will do. Tell us briefly yourself, the role that you played during this whole exercise, and why you really decided to get involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. And let me first take this opportunity to thank as Chairman for this opportunity, and also the Minister of ICT, who is always here to support the private sector, especially we who are doing the ICT business sector. So I'm called Leon Kalamdier. I'm the CEO of DDIN. It's a digital distribution courier network. We do agency management. We manage almost 4,200 agents doing defense service, especially government service. We work with Vilembo, Mobicash, and some other private institutions, especially banks. So what we do, we harmonize or we provide like common agents network. Like, if I may say, it's a shared agents network. So for the question, was very critical because the first time I got to introduce to this program, I'm always asking as chamber, what is your interest for supporting that? Always we as entrepreneurs, everything we see as an opportunity again, and again as a cost. We always thinking if someone approaching us is looking for business, is coming for business purpose, and there's some budget who's going to be allocated to that way. That purpose, maybe that business case. So I always asking Console and other people, coming together with them, asking what is your business purpose? What do we have to invest? Surprisingly, they always tell me there's nothing. We want to support you. And I ask myself, how comes? Come to them for nothing, for zero cost. And it's come to be a challenge and a worry to me when we talk, especially when we talk data. We always think people want to monitor you. People want to follow your step. People want to maybe to copy your business, something like that. So this is where I want you, all of us, especially the company that has participated in this program, to thank ICT Chamber to this program.
Okay, my name is Dr. Zermana, and I've been playing a lot of data engineering in this program, helping companies to bridge some gaps in their data or solve different challenges using their data by providing different solutions like data infrastructures or the guidelines in form of data strategy that will help them to maybe tackle those challenges depending on the gaps that we identified in the data maturity assessment, as Frank have said, and providing the guidelines. Maybe they are not able currently to implement those solutions, but how will they implement them in the future when they will be willing to do that? So me and other fellows, including data protection officers who have been helping companies with compliance, business intelligence analysts who have been helping companies with data analysis, and as data engineers who have been helping companies with developing different data infrastructures and business strategies. We're pleased to be working with many different companies that are present here, and we think the work that we have done have contributed a lot to what the companies was willing to get from the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. I'm happy to be part of this panel, and I think I'm the most beneficial to the program. The question was why we did participated. I joined RSwitch last year in February. I was from the industry where I was only dealing with providing services to the institutions. Now I was shifted to the service provider. Then I had to look at the previous services that RSwitch were giving, and I found RSwitch having around 20 million structured data, where I didn't know what is in there. So first of all, I tried to do it by myself, but it couldn't move because of the other initiative that I had. Thank you again for showing up. I remember in July, that is when we started discussing this. And of course, I knew the importance of knowing what you have as data and how the business evolved. And basically, we wanted to turn back from the 5 years back and how our services were evolving in order to plan ahead. And I think it wasn't hard for us to decide going with the program, and we benefited much. So right now we are having descriptive, like having dashboards, understanding what are the most beneficial business that we are doing. And we are also monitoring our services and doing actually diagnostic analysis by understanding why this time around the transaction falls down just looking at the dashboard, and we could be able to improve actually our system and plan the future improvement of our infrastructure, given the trend and descriptive analysis of our data.
I'll come back to you on what your experience was in terms of, you say that you are already working on some other project and then you had all these other work, things that you wanted to do with data but couldn't. But before I do, I'm going to come back to the wall, to maybe from a practical point of view, what exactly, what business questions you wanted answered after realizing that we are not trying, there's no, there are no strings attached, so to speak, or there's no hidden agenda of monitoring your business and your performance. After realizing that, what are these business questions that you feel you not have answered without the exercise?
Well, thank you. First of all, if I be frank, we didn't even know what kind of data we have. But through the program now, we can understand the business trend, and we can also identify easily the business trend, of course, and also the move of the industry. Because if you see that the business that we are doing, we use actually we have a project called the Huzo. We use a shared agents network across the country. Most of the time, our agents you can find it's doing BK, doing mobile money, doing whatever. But before entering in the program, we couldn't know what kind of agent we are using. Now we can identify if the agent we are using, the most on the some services, especially right now we are doing Lemba, we're doing Rwanda Revenue, we do also other verses, but we can now easily understand what the most service agents are very interested.
Thank you very much. So Aldo, you came in, maybe, I don't know whether you've already completed school or are you still at school? What skills did you come with and what skills do you now have? What has been what has excited you or not excited you during the program?
Thank you. I'm still doing my bachelor's degree at Cape Pride Business Management, which somehow became a challenge for me because other fellows came with the background of like technical skills that helped them to advance in the program. But me coming from business management and entering the field of that requires technical skills to help those companies quite a challenge for me. But fortunately, due to the trainings that we received before being present to different companies, we had some trainers giving us the skills together with the projects that were quite similar to what we were going to implement in the companies, like telling us this is the data strategy, this is how it's done, and the brief explanation of it, like this is the data infrastructure. If you want to build the data warehouse, these are the skills, these are the resources, using the video world projects. So coming to the program, I could say that I knew less about how to use those technical skills to work with data, but now, like the impact could be measured by comparing the gap between when I enter into the program and how I'm exiting the program. Right now, I'm able to go into the company try to identify or analyze the data that they are currently having based on different business questions or their use cases. I could identify, like, because of what you need or what you are looking for to achieve, this is the data that you need to be capturing that you have been not capturing. And also, once you'll be having this data to make the job of your people more easy, you need to set up the infrastructure in this way, like you could map all different sources, data sources from the company into one infrastructure that we refer to as a data warehouse. I'm able to do that, and after orienting them, you know how to make job easy after unifying all their data. I could say this is how you could get the most beneficial insights from this data that you have been collecting, and I'm now able to provide a guideline like this is how you should be working in order to get the most of the data that you have collected already, or the data that you are willing to collect. This is the plan, you must do this, you must do this, you need this one, or you need certain people to help you to do this, or you need this kind of tool to help you do this in order to achieve what you are looking for to achieve. So,
let me go to Emable as you're saying that because he was also working with a fellow. So when a young someone who's just getting in, who's just had a few months of training, comes into your company, what was your experience like? He's telling us he's now able to advise the company to do this, to do that, but generally speaking, did that work for you? Was that in any way relevant?
I confirm that. I thought you gave us the best, given that we had already started actually depending on his insight, because and your selection of such young people who are very motivated to learn even special skills. So I can confirm that they were really contributing to the company, not only putting dashboards on the table, but also getting insights from the dashboards and from the data in general. So I confirm that we benefited from the young people from the program.
For a company that is into payments, processing, support, and everything, if it's not confidential, what kind of business questions were you looking to respond to answer, and what is so far done, maybe from a percentage point of view, and where do you think we need to put more effort?
Business questions are not confidential. Maybe the answers to the business question would be. Mainly, we wanted to, we do transaction processing businesses, and we wanted to optimize our service to our customers. So we wanted to understand mainly what are the preferred transaction channels. We do card processing. The business question would be, what are the preferred channels? Is it ATM? Are they point of sales? Are they other mobile transactions? The primary question was, what are the preferred channels from different customers? And the second business goal, we wanted to understand among the channels, which channel do we benefit more, like revenue growth from different services we provided. And I think you asked at what percentage. Understanding that, resolving the business question, we are at 100%.
Thank you very much. But I want to go to the audience. As you had, one of the aspects was also on compliance. and we had a group, or at least a group of fellows who were lawyers who were working with the companies. I don't know if I can give a microphone to one or two of them to just share with us, because we had the experience from the engineering team, yeah. But we can give you a microphone, yeah.
My name is Imara Lehabia. I'm an associate at Landmark Advocates, and as one of the trainees in the data protection, if I can say the legal part of it, not the technical part, we found that it is the most essential part of this area because it is regulated in a way, and it has to be regulated for it to be safe. So compliance mainly centered around first registration with the Data Protection Office, which is part of the National Cyber Security Agency. So registration was the most essential part. The deadline was October 15th, but they gave us a few grace periods for those people who have not yet applied and got registered. There was a lot of confusion because it is it's a new field in general, and everybody didn't really understand why they need to register, what is it they're registering. You will find a person is telling you, am I a data controller? Am I a data processor? So we had to work with a lot of businesses and a lot of companies and NGOs and everybody who collects data or processes data to see which part of category they fall in and then get them registered. But then there was post-registration compliance as well, which is the battle we're still fighting until now, which is basically how do you handle data once you've collected it. Yes, now you're registered, now you're recognized, but then how do you process that data? Is it in a safe manner? Do you have consent to process that data? Do you have the necessary documents? Do your employees know that data protection is the most essential part to build trust with your clients or with the beneficiaries and all that?
Question, but it's basically to comment about the great work which was done by these guys. You know, most of the times for startups perspectives, we don't have, I would say, enough resources to invest in the documents, policies, development, etc. And with this program on the legal part, we were able really to have most of our documents related to our legal part of things really developed, and we are already implementing, those policies, those forms, etc. That one was very important because most of the times this is the work which we pay for consultants to do, and they are so expensive to have. So the data engineering part, I think it was good, first of all, to have, again, these fellows understanding the strategy and design part of even the work they have to be doing. And also, for us, we didn't have enough time to basically maybe do enough implementation for the data engineering part because of some of the delays of our internal team, in the engineering and the product team, because it could require a lot of integration etc. But with even the aspect of even designing data storage, governance, etc. So it was so amazing. Most of the times, you can't get the price to pay for this. So it was really good, and I think you have to keep investing in this. And I think for us, it's even the benefit to Murapa to access these, data engineering talents for our partner companies and organizations. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for inviting us and the presentations. I think this was a very good program, and I think I thank the efforts that the fellows put in helping the institutions to comply with the law, but also to help them go beyond just complying, but also make sure they have effective and useful digital strategies and practices in place. And I think, like the rest of the people have requested, to continue such programs because it will help institutions have resources or personnel to help them in their data journey. And the other thing is, I think the Ihuzo platform, I think I saw, can be useful to many institutions because one of the requirements of the law is to do like a data protection impact assessment. I think it's one of the tools that can help them, but also even our institution as well to know how institutions are studying their maturity level, and then know how we can come in and support them better. So thank you.
For my lawyers who need jobs, does DPO and NCS?
We'll talk to them.
Thank you very much. So, anyone else with a question? Yes.
First, like to thank you again for even allowing us to be part of these amazing projects and how we've been able to contribute. Mine is not really a question, it's more of just appreciating beyond now how we need to take things forward from here. And there's a whole conversation around providing continuous support. And part of the role we played was also being able to support the registration and all of the training of PPOs. And for us, we know beyond just training people on the military, there's also the need to handle them. So building a privacy program, implementing the whole privacy program, it's a different ballgame. I'm just saying here, like from our Society Foundation, we're more than happy to continue to provide the support, to continue to support this partnership. Again, big credit to the amazing job that's been done so far, and really look forward to the next phase of this. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. For those who don't know this old man, my name is Innocent Mwizi. I've been around for a couple of years. But what's your name again? Tawaruka. Don't go for many certificates. If you have 10 of them, what are you using them for? How competent and what is you that you're competent? Is it just a certificate or what you're able to deliver? Yes, it's good to have certificates, but I've seen so many CCNAs, CCNPs, CCIEs, but you give them a router, they can't configure. Right? You tell them that I have 2,500 users, and then they give you a /22 network. Any network engineer here? A /22 network can only give you a maximum of 1,024 IP addresses. Simple. You failed. Yet this is CCNP. So the point I'm trying to make is that you can have as many certificates as you can, but if you've not gone down to the view trench and see what you're able to do, then it's of no use. I'm not saying that having certificates is not good. It's good. But they need to be substantiated by empirical evidence that you can deliver on the job. And that is the most important thing. Right? I had Leon say that you're not compliant. Please don't fool yourself, you're not. Wait until Ghislaine comes to you, to your office, then you realize how non-compliant you are. Yes, for starters, you've registered as a data processor and a data controller. Right? But if I came, just other than just having that certificate that you're a data controller and a data processor, if I came to your business and I said, you have Alex's personal data, how are you storing it? How are you protecting it? Is there any instance where his personal data has ever been shared without his consent? And is there any instance where his personal data has been used for something that he did not give it to you for? Be registered as a data controller and as a data processor. That is the basis. Then we'll be able to go into the other steps. Right? But don't blame yourself. This is a completely new domain for a lot of us. Everybody is learning. But for those who want to learn, there is now a convergence between, especially in the data protection space, the engineering part and the legal part. Right? If you are able to combine those two, then you are a gold mine. you will be sought after, because one, you have to have a legal mind to understand what the law requires, right? When you have an engineering understanding to be able to say, this is how I'm going to be able to comply with what the law asks for, right? So, and this is quite a new area that we don't have many people in. And if you're able to get that, then that will be something very good. So, Alex, I think that's something where you can now steer the conversation towards. So, longer period of time, yes. Even has a lot of money. She can be able to take this program for another 12 months, right? There is support. What we need is just a structured program, and once we have that, how do we now go back into the institutions? Now, for those who are looking for jobs, please come to me. Raise your hands. Yes. There are lots of jobs for anything data related. Right. So I don't want to bore you. I know you guys like to get back to the black boxes and look at the codes, but it's always refreshing to hear people now talk about their insights, their understanding. I started business analysis and intelligence in 2008 when I joined the banking industry at that time. So we had to generate reports to show how the bank was performing. You'd have to generate a report and say, this is how our loans are performing, these are our top performing customers, these are our top performing, selling accounts or products in general. You have to decide based on data to keep a product because it is not performing. By the way, it's not only in government where you can apply data. What is your famous supermarket that you go to? South City, right? If you went to South City and ask them, who are your top 10 customers? Would they be able to tell you? Okay. If you went to them and said, what are your top 10 products? Okay. If you went and asked them, what is the aging period, the average of the products on your shelves? Probably a problem, right? Right? If you went and asked them, by the way, this is what I did in my thesis at the master's level. If you went to them and said, what is the product that is selling other products? Okay. So, one of the problems that my thesis that I did, were given data from a supermarket. And then we were asked that exact same question, what products are selling others, right? So you had to develop, a query that is able to link products, right? It was so interesting to see that bread and beer. So the challenge we had was, what was selling what? We were not able to ascertain whether it's bread that was selling beer or if it's beer that was selling bread. Right? But it was actually beer that was selling bread. But disguised. The man would be going home. He said, okay, I cannot get home without, bringing bread. And I want to have my beer. So how am I going to do it? Okay, you know what? Let me go grab, a carton of beer. I'll bring along a loaf of bread. As a merchant, you pay 2 point something. This is something that I've argued before, but I failed. If you charge him 2 point something, don't make it 0. I can tell you how you actually make more money than that. Right? If you tell the merchant, the shop owner, the supermarket owner, say, you know what, I'll charge you 0 on every transaction that you sell using the POS, right? But I'll give you an overdraft facility on that transaction. By an overdraft facility, what you mean, you actually are paying credit that they can be able to tap into from a stock, and you charge them interest on that. You know what they're going to do? Every product, they're actually going to force customers, please, can you use the POS? Because they see an intrinsic value in that. Right? So you actually, as engineers, we need to understand business. We need to get into the business mindset. Because that is what makes it. Back in the days, I used to present my budget, $2 million. Then they say, we don't have money, listen, you're a fool. What do I give you $2 million for? 3 years in a row, no, 4 years in a row. Buy it short down, 500,000. Then I went and talked to the CFO. I said, CFO, how does the bank make money? Then he explained lots of things as a financial engineering and all these things. But I learned one thing, the language that they speak. So what I did, the next year when I was presenting my budget, I did not put anything like megas, gigas, and all this nonsense that we talk about. But rather I had learned their language. I started as a CEO, we are potentially losing 300 million every year. What? Is it fraud? Is it? I said, no, it's not fraud. So we are potentially losing this money because when a customer comes to the counter there, we make 100 francs. He's like, yes, I know. Like, now, when an ATM is not working, you know, a transaction which at 50 francs, say, what are you telling me? I know all this. I said, do you know how many tellers we have? He said, I don't know how many. I said, we have 97. And each teller, in 2 hours, we are doing about 50 transactions. I said, sir, if the network is down for more than 2 hours, so all these tellers are not performing those 50 transactions. And each transaction, you compute with the amount of money that we're making. If you put it on the year basis, what do you want? I don't want to hear that nonsense. I said, but there is a magic. I said, what is it? I said, if we invest only $2 million this year, which we will amortize over 3 years, we'll be able to fix this issue. It's like, CFO, what is that? It's like $600,000 every year. It's like, that's peanuts. Our treasurer is going to make that in 3 months. Why is that a problem? I was able to get my budget for the very first time without using the engineering language. So engineers, please, don't fall into my pitfalls. I suffered for 4 years to convince my management that actually this is what I needed. But I was speaking a foreign language to them. You can't talk about gigahertz, talk about some of these fancy things like big data, Hadoop, all those things. Like, no, I need this. Yeah. JavaScript. That's what the mother speaks. What? Those kind of things. You go talk to the CFO, you're like, what are you talking about? That is Chinese. Yeah? So please learn to speak their language. The moment you're able to do so, then you've won them over. So thank you so much. From a government point of view, these are initiatives that we support strongly. We want to see as many data engineers. By the way, for the very first time, I think it was last year, when data science as a position within government was introduced. We will now have data scientists. We're now going to increase data scientists, we're going to introduce data engineers, data architects. So these are things that are going to become very common in government positions. So please, whenever you see them, apply. Even if you don't see them in government, they are going to be in other areas. There is a banker who asked me yesterday that they want to emulate what we did in government. They have a head of IT. And I want to change that to a chief digital officer. I said, what took you so long? I said, I'm giving you free consulting. Let me know how I can be able to help you. So please get ready. You're going to be